Hey team, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we are going to code up the BubbleSort to sort an array of integers. Please consider subscribing to the channel, would truly appreciate it. So before we dive into stepping through a BubbleSort, it's best that we mentally understand what's going on. Notice here on line 15, I have declared an array of integers, and I have initialized it with these values, 9, 2, 3, 12, 0. Now the way the BubbleSort works is it goes from left to right 2 characters at a time. So notice here I'm comparing 9 and 2. Does 9 greater than 2? Yes. So notice here when 9 is greater than 2, I swap those two. And then I'm comparing 9 and 3. Is 9 greater than 3? Yes. So I swap those two. And then is 9 greater than 12? No. And then I say, is 12 greater than 0? Yes. So I swap those two. So my current line is 2, 3, 9, 0, 12. So now I have put the largest number in this last position. I don't need to compare that one anymore. So now I go, is 2 greater than 3? No. Is 3 greater than 0? Yes. Swap those. So now I'm at 2, 0, 3, 9, 12. And is 3 greater than 9? No. Now I know that it's 9 and 12 are my descending order. So 0, is 2 greater than 0? Yes. Swap those. 0, 2, is 2 greater than 3? No. I'm done. The sorting is complete. Here you can see that I'm initializing my array of integers with this set of numbers. Determine the number of entries. The first thing I do is I get the size of num. Let's actually step into this program and see what happens. Hit F10, yes, and F10, F10. So size of num, the size of num is 36. So this right here is going to consume 36 bytes. Now we're putting that into an integer. So what does that mean? Well, that means divide it by 4. So 36 divided by 4 is 9. Notice our count is 9. Now we're about to call that function print list. Print list takes an address and an integer. So what are we doing here? So I'm passing in the address of num sub 0. Well, if I highlight that, notice the address of that is 00D6F774. That is the address of where this begins in memory. Now, if this were the only thing that I was sending to this method, it would get there and not know how many I'm going to do. You're probably wondering, I thought C programming was smart. Well, it is smart, but you have to tell me how many I'm going to process. That's just the rules. Now, once you understand the rules, C programming is just sweet. So I'm going to send in the address, and then once it gets there, it's going to loop over this count. Let's go and actually look at that. We're going to step into that F11. So notice that 774, that was the same address that I had talked about before. And then I'm going to loop through this 9 times. So let's F10, and I'll tell you what, I'll meet you on line 42. Now that I'm all done, I'm going to hit F10 one more time, and that's going to print to the output. Let's move this over here so we can see. And notice that my list of numbers is just how we thought they would be. F10, back to main. 9, 2, 3, 12, 0, 11, 9, 2, 3, 12, 11, 0, 4, 1, 10. So now we're actually finished with printing it to the screen, and now we're actually going to BubbleSort. Now look, BubbleSort has the same signature as print list. Now print list, as I just told you, I have to send the address of where this array begins and the count. Now this is very important. Every time that you want to work on an array, you have to send two things. The address of that base array and the number of entries in that array. Those are just two things. Every time you call a function and you pass an array there, you have to pass both of these. Okay, so let's go do bubble sorting, F11. Here you can see that I'm just declaring a couple of variables. Now you'll notice at the very outside, for I equals 0, I less than size minus 9. What's size? Well, that's our number of elements. And here I'm saying, let's do one less. Well, we're doing one less because look at this. I'm doing a peekaboo into the future, so I can only go one minus that. But you'll notice here that I'm saying for j equals 0, so I'm going to start at this first number 9, and then I'm going to say while j is 9 minus I is 0 the first time, minus 1. So I will always go up to the 1 before the end. And you'll see how as I keep incrementing I do less and less work in j. Excellent. You'll have to step through this several times until you master it, but once you do, there's a good days ahead of you. Okay, so I'm in this first one. J is 0, j plus 1. Let's go look at that. This is asking, is 9 greater than 2? 9 is greater than 2. So we're going to step into this if statement. Then I'm going to swap them. I'm going to bypass this method right now because I want to stay in the zone, but you can see what swapping is going to do. I'm going to swap the 9 and the 2. F10. And then I'm going to print that. So notice I swapped the 9 and the 2, and now it's 2, 9, right? Perfect. Let's turn that off. Then I'm back in there, and then I come back up, and now j is 1. So 0, 1. Is 9 greater than 3? Yes, it is. I'm going to swap it again. F10. Swap it. Print it. Now look at that. 2, 3, 9. Now, this is where we get our first little, hey, what's going on? Notice 9 is not greater than 12. So it will not do this. It's going to bypass this. And what's going to happen is I'm going to start using 12 as my big number. So look at this right here. Now I'm saying, is 12 greater than 0? So what is j right now? J is 3. So 0, 1, 2, 3. So is 12 greater than 0? Yes. Swap them. Now you've seen this enough. I'm actually going to go into this swap so you can actually see the code. Notice that I'm sending 12 and 0, but look, I'm sending the address of those. And F11, notice that I'm sending them to pointers. So when you see this right here, these are the addresses. Notice this one is a bunch of numbers 780, and this one is 784. So what's going to happen is this N1, whenever you have an address and you put a star in front of that, it gets the contents of that address. So at 780, that is going to be a 12. So I'm going to assign that to temp. Temp is now 12. Now N2, what address is that? 784. If you put a pointer in front of an address, you get its value. So I'm going to take this value, which is 0, and oh, look at this. I'm assigning it to another pointer. So I go look at this pointer's value, and it's 780, and then when I put a star in front of that, I'm actually looking at the cell of that address. So you can see that I'm copying it in there. And then I'm going to assign 12 to that N2 location that's currently 0, and that performed the swap. So it takes 3 variables to perform a swap statement. And there you have swap. And I'm going to print that, and you'll notice over here that the 12 and the 0 have changed, right? Excellent. Now I'm coming back up. Look at what j is. J is 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Is 12 greater than 11? Yes. Swap those. Is 12 greater than 4? Swap those. Is 12 greater than 1? Swap those. Is 12 greater than 10? What is J? J is 12. Let's go there. The J index is 7. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then J plus 1, which will be 8. Is 12 greater than 10? Yes. Swap them. So look at the line. Now we have bubbled up the largest number to the very top. That is why this is called bubble sort. And then I just continue, and I'm done with that first loop. No, I is 0. So now I is 1. And notice that size minus I, that's now 8 minus 1 is 7. So I'm going to do less now on each of these indexes. And then we just loop through there. I'm swapping. And then you're going to see 11 bubble to the second position. Notice now 11 bubbled up, right? And that's all this is. So I just stay inside of this loop until I'm done. And this is what bubble sorting is all about. You bubble up the highest number and you're done, okay? So I'm going to put the breakpoint here to kind of finish it. Hit the F5 button to continue. And notice now I'm kind of done with that loop. And I come back up here. And now look at that. I is now 2. And my numbers are getting pretty close, right? So F5. Then I'm going to do it again. Getting closer. Getting closer. There it is. It's in sorted order now. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 10, 11, 12. It is now in sorted order. The bubble sort worked. What is I? I is at 7. We need to go to 9. Look at that. It's just going through here and nothing is happening because this array has been sorted. Notice that that took me 18 swaps to store that data. Now, when you read this now, can you read this like a professional? Yes. You're going to send the address of nums sub 0 to a pointer. And you're going to tell me the count, the number of elements that are in this array. And it's going to print that out, F10. Notice 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm going to print out the number of swaps is 18. And then this exit 0 is going to end the program. And there you have the bubble sort. There you go, team. I hope you enjoyed the bubble sort. Try to make it easy for you. Now it's your turn. If you could please subscribe, leave a comment, and give a thumbs up, I would truly appreciate it. See you in the next video.